To celebrate the Switch 2 coming out, and hopefully a new 3D Mario game right around the corner, I decided to make this tier list of all the first Super Mario levels. And of course, I gotta start with where it all began, Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. World 1-1. This level is the blueprint for how you teach players through gameplay. The Goomba slowly walking towards you gives you your first challenge before you even know what the buttons do. The blocks are there waiting for you to hit them, and a mushroom surprises you by growing and moving, forcing you to react. This isn't just a tutorial telling you what to do, what to press, and what everything does, but through gameplay it teaches you the mechanics. Miyamoto famously created the levels by hand before computing them, and even if it's basic by today's standards, World 1-1 is one of the most important levels ever made, and is probably the most well-known level in video game history. S tier. Also, please subscribe if you are liking this video, as it really helps us out. Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels World 1-1. Right away, the Lost Levels feels like it's punishing you for thinking this would be easy. The very first mushroom you see is poisonous, which is the opposite of the normal mushroom in the original game, and tests returning players. It's not designed to teach new players, it's designed to troll veterans. There are wind gusts, harder jumps, and tighter enemy placement. Even the platforms feel narrower and more precarious. Playing it feels like Nintendo just wanted to make it as difficult as they could for an opening level. The game gets much harder, and while 1-1 isn't anything crazy, it is a big step in difficulty from its predecessor. While interesting as a sequel meant for skilled players, there's a reason Nintendo originally just released this in Japan. C tier. Super Mario Bros. 2 Level 1-1. This game is such a departure from the original trilogy, it's based on Doki Doki Panic after all. And the first level makes that very clear. You drop from a door in the sky, already picking a unique intro. Instead of stomping Goombas, you're picking vegetables out of the ground and chucking them at enemies. The level has layers, literal vertical ones, featuring secret doors, health upgrades, and a ride on a flying carpet. It introduces mechanics like enemy stacking and magic potions, but they never become fully fleshed out. There's something offbeat and dreamlike about the entire setting. It's different and charming and certainly not bad, but I'm just not the biggest fan of Super Mario Bros. 2, so it goes in C tier. Super Mario Bros. 3 Grassland 1. Now this is how you make a first level. Mario 3's first level reintroduces the run and jump gameplay we love, but layers in more depth. The power-ups are more expansive, though Super Leaf introduces flight, which changes everything. Pipes lead to even more secrets, white blocks hide coins, and you can even skip across the level with P-Wing Mastery. It's a visually pleasant level that looks way better than Super Mario Bros., which came out just a few years earlier on the same console. It balances the new ideas while keeping intact classic Mario staples. This is my personal second favorite 2D Mario game, and maybe it's nostalgia, but I think Mario 3 deserves to be in the A tier. Super Mario Land World 1-1. This was the first mainline Mario game on the go, but it hasn't aged gracefully. The physics are odd and Mario feels floaty. The level introduces new enemies like hopping bugs and those exploding turtle shells called Bombshell Koopas, which can catch new players off guard. The level is pretty short, and while it introduces the core mechanics, it doesn't do much with them. The level scrolls by quickly, and there's an awkward rhythm to the gameplay that never feels quite right. Still, there's a fun Egyptian vibe, and for a handheld debut, it's a neat curiosity. But as far as first levels go, it's among the weakest. I put this in D tier. Super Mario World Yoshi's Island 1. I love this level. From the moment the iconic map screen pulls out and you start on Yoshi's Island, it feels like Mario is in a brand new land, which he is. The level introduces Yoshi himself, a massive change that spawned a whole new series of games, as well as a fan favorite character. You learn about spin jumps, item boxes in your inventory, and flying thanks to the cape. It is pretty similar to flying in Super Mario Bros. 3, but it has some different mechanics. The music is amazing, the colors are bright, and everything about it feels like the next generation of Mario. There are secret paths and hidden blocks that reward exploration right away. The pacing is perfect, and it never overwhelms you, it just encourages you to explore. I remember playing this for the first time as a kid and just listening to the music and running around with Yoshi. It's one of the most inviting and complete first levels Nintendo has ever made, and it's an easy S tier for me. Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins Tree Zone 1. A big step up from its predecessor, this first level feels like it belongs in the Mario universe. The physics are tighter, the visuals are more detailed, and the level is surprisingly vertical. You're climbing a tree filled with Goombas, flying pigs, and bee enemies. There's a sense of whimsy and exploration here that was missing in Mario Land 1. The background music is catchy, and the level has a cozy, almost storybook feel. While the pacing can feel uneven and the controls a bit loose, it has charm in spades. Plus the bunny ears power-up is just plain fun. This is C tier for me. Super Mario 64, Bob-omb Battlefield. Bob-omb Battlefield did for 3D games what 1-1 in the original Super Mario Bros. Did for 2D games. Just completely knocked it out of the park with the first level. But unlike the previous games where you either just start in the level or in a world map, you start outside the castle, run through its halls, and jump into a painting. When I first played this, I had no idea how to even get to the levels, but randomly found out how by jumping into a painting. Bob-omb Battlefield is wide open, with red coins, secret cannons, rolling balls, and a boss on the summit. The level shows you that Mario's world is now 3D, and it gives you freedom to explore at your own pace, and not necessarily go from start to finish immediately. It teaches you camera control, movement options, and multiple objectives without ever needing options before ever jumping into the painting. But this gives you your first real dig at platforming challenges instead of walking around the castle or the yard. My favorite part was climbing to the top of the mountain for the first time and fighting King Bob-omb. It is a moment I'll never forget. It's not the hardest level, but its open-ended structure and sheer scale make it a genre-defining introduction. Another easy S tier. Super Mario Sunshine, Bianco Hills. This level gives you a lot, fast. You've already been in Delfino Plaza, but now you're sent off to Bianco Hills. You're introduced to Flood, which changes Mario's gameplay entirely. The level's grassy fields, tightrope paths, and polluted lake all serve as the backdrop to learning movement in this game, just like 64. It has a laid-back vibe, but the platforming is surprisingly precise. At least, that's how it felt when I played it back in the 2000s. Cleaning up graffiti and uncovering secrets feels rewarding, especially once you start chaining together water-propelled jumps. It's a beautiful level with a calming vibe, but it can be awkward due to Flood's unfamiliarity. That said, it lays a solid foundation for what's to come. It's more intricate and obviously better looking than Bob-omb Battlefield, but it doesn't feel as innovative. A tier. New Super Mario Bros. DS, World 1-1. This was the first 2D Mario game in years, and the level feels like a love letter to World 1-1 of the original. It's crisp, colorful, and introduces wall jumping and the Mega Mushroom, one of the wildest power-ups in the series that would have appearances in a few games since. Let's be honest, that was the best part of this level. Although it doesn't do anything too fancy, it's a brand new 2D Mario game for the first time in nearly a decade and a half, and it nails that classic Mario feel. The DS sound card also just has such a nostalgic sound to me, and I get goosebumps when I hear it. It takes me back to a time when games weren't $80. The level doesn't really take risks, but it didn't need to. It was just good to have 2D Mario back. This is B tier. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, World 1-1. For the first time in a mainline Mario game, you can have up to 4 players playing at once, which greatly improves what is otherwise a fairly simple level. It introduces new power-ups like the propeller mushroom, which I always just loved the design of, and also shows off how chaotic and fun 4-player co-op can be. The level has classic design sensibilities, pipes, platforms, and Goombas in all the right places. But it also has some secrets, and getting all the star coins as a group is a blast. There's something inherently fun about bouncing off your friend's head mid-jump and flinging yourself into the air, or if you're toxic like me, throwing them off a cliff. It doesn't innovate in level design, but the experience of playing it with others adds an extra layer. B tier. Super Mario Galaxy, Gateway Galaxy. While you might think Good Egg Galaxy was the first level, there was a galaxy before it. Gateway Galaxy serves as a way to introduce the player to the new gravity mechanics, as well as the new movement, which feels better than ever. I'm also counting the beginning of the game as part of this level, which you can disagree with if you'd like. You start off making your way to Peach's castle, and then Bowser shows up and decides to go intergalactic. You know how great Galaxy's music is, so that's a given for this level, but anyway, you get brought to a small planet where you have to catch a rabbit, just like in 64, with peaceful music playing, and get introduced to Rosalina and the Lumas. Rosalina gives you the new spin power. This lets you attack enemies, break objects, and also stay in the air a little longer. After you meet Rosalina, you go through the more traditional part of the opening level and learn some of the game's other mechanics, like collecting keys and walking over those tiles that you need to light up. There's just so much here, and while I was gonna put it in A tier since the main galaxy does definitely feel like a tutorial, since I'm counting the other parts though, it's gonna go in S tier. Super Mario Galaxy 2, Skyway Station Galaxy 1, Pee-wee Piranha. Galaxy 2 wastes no time, just like Galaxy 1. You start near Peach's castle, and then the same thing happens again, where you go into space and are dropped into Sky Station Galaxy. The level is definitely more complex and feels less like a tutorial compared to Gateway Galaxy, and it should be because if you're playing Galaxy 2, you probably played Galaxy 1. The music is once again great, and at the end you fight Pee-wee Piranha, who is a fun evolution of Dino Piranha, with a more active attack pattern and personality. It might not feel quite as mysterious as Galaxy 1's opener, but it's still a great beginning, and I'm going to put it in A tier. Super Mario 3D Land, World 1-1. This level is simple, clean, and gets the job done. It acts as a bridge between the 2D and 3D eras of Mario, with fixed camera angles and short linear design. You've got Goombas, blocks, pipes, and the Tanuki suit, all the classics, but made portable. It introduces depth without ever overwhelming the player, which was a smart move for a handheld 3D game. The visuals are surprisingly nice for a 3DS title, but it's just overall very simple. Like, it's good, but just not very memorable, so that's why I put this in B tier. New Super Mario Bros. 2, World 1-1. I've made it no secret that I'm just not a fan of this game. There's almost nothing original to this game, including its opening level. Literally, it just feels like a reskin of previous New Super Mario Bros. Games, but with more coins, so that's why I put this in D tier. New Super Mario Bros. U, Acorn Plains 1. Now, this is a little better than 2's opening level. The squirrel suit is a fun twist on flight, with gliding and wall clinging giving you more control in the air. The backgrounds are painterly and gorgeous. It's easily the best looking game of the New Super Mario Bros. Games. The design itself is tight, as to be expected, with plenty of optional coin challenges and vertical movement. It doesn't revolutionize the formula, but it at least does some new things. C tier. Super Mario 3D World, World 1-1, Super Bell Hill. This is one of the best Mario intro levels ever. Super Bell Hill isn't just a great tutorial, it's a showcase of what this game does differently. The cat suit is one of the most fun power-ups in Mario, and you get to climb walls and scratch enemies almost immediately. The level is full of nooks and secrets, but it never feels cramped. Playing with friends enhances the game, just like it did with New Super Mario Bros. Wii. It's a playground with verticality, exploration, and momentum. The level isn't anything too crazy, but the music mixed with the visuals, movement, especially the improved movement on the Switch version, just brings me a lot of nostalgia. That's why I'm putting this in the A tier. Also, I'm not going to include Bowser's Fury since it doesn't really have a first level in the traditional sense. Super Mario Odyssey, Cap Kingdom. Cap Kingdom is haunting and stylish in a way Mario rarely is. It's a dark, foggy world that introduces Cappy, your new sentient hat buddy, and with him, a massive change to how Mario plays. You can possess enemies, extend your jump, and chain together moves in ways no Mario game had allowed before. This is more of a first world than a first level, because you will spend quite a bit of time here learning all the mechanics and exploring this brand new area. Most first levels are just grasslands, but the development team did something a lot more creative here. The Cap Kingdom is definitely on the shorter side for kingdoms, but that's okay for it being the first. This goes in A tier. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, World 1-1. Welcome to the Flower Kingdom. Wonder's opening level bursts with creativity. At first glance, it feels familiar, but then you hit that Wonder Flower and everything changes. Pipes dance, enemies warp, and your perspective goes wild. It's like Mario on a sugar rush. The elephant fruit is absurd, but in the best way, and it brings new momentum and combat mechanics. The art style is playful and expressive, with more character animation than ever before. You can tell Nintendo let their designers go a little wild here, and it pays off. This level sets the tone for a game that thrives on surprise. I'm putting this in A tier. And that's the list. Tell us your tier lists in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe. This has been ND with Game Domain.